something up his sleeve. And it didn't take long. On lap 19 of the 20, a finely judged manoeuvre then from Kurt McCarthy. He really did have something special to go. He gone through in front of Jim Moody. So McCarthy takes the win in the Supersports round 6 here at Silverstone from Jim Moody in second place. Dean Thomas, despite the penalty, still finished in 4th place, not the 3rd that you saw on the road. Getting an earful though, Kurt McCarthy. The last laugh went to Jim Moody. These though are live shots. We are down on the grid. This is round 6, race 2 in the British Superbikes. Who is going to gain a big advantage here? Leading the series is John Reynolds by 1 point now from race 1 winner Neil Hodgson. Well, I did say earlier there was a lot of talent down on the grid. Trying to blend in with them, of course, is our very own Jonathan Green.
Thank you, Keith. Yeah, I'm here on the second row and there is a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz. And I'll tell you why, James Hayden, big smile on his face. He's just told me he's got a race-winning bike. He's made some set-up adjustments. What have you done?
We just sort of changed the rear spring and just altered the rear suspension a little bit better. It's crossing the bumps a bit better, and yeah, it felt really good in that warm-up lap. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased.
What did you learn from race 1 that you're going to adjust for race 2?
Don't make a mistake on lap 3 and give them loads and loads of time.
Fair enough. Good response.
Yeah, no, but I just basically made a mistake, and I had to come through from 9th to 4th. So at the end of the day, we get away with the leaders. We'll stay with the leaders.
All right, perfect. Let's go a little bit further down. Let's go down here and have a quick word with his teammate, of course, the championship leader, John Reynolds. Now, John, it's getting close in this championship now, just 1 point. You weren't feeling the best, obviously, after the first race. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I've had a bit of a rest and had a bit of liquid. So, yeah, I feel good.
The man next to you is only 1 point behind now. Can you beat him today?
We'll see. I need to, don't I?
Yes, you do indeed. Well, talking of that man, he's right here, and he's getting an interview done at the moment, and he's just finished that, so he's such a professional, he can do another one real quickly. Neil, just 1 point in it now. You won the last one by a country mile. A bit of a stroll for you at the moment. Are you going to do the same?
Well, I wouldn't say a bit of a stroll. It's difficult, obviously I'm pushing as hard as I can, and I'm sure the other riders are, but yeah, it'd be nice to do the same, obviously, Jonathan, but we'll see.
It's obviously this new haircut. You front row boys have got the same haircut. What's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's quite bizarre, really. I've wanted my haircut in for a while, and I had it all cut off, and then got here, and everybody said, JR's had his done as well. So I think we're all trying to look tough. We're still actually quite immature deep down inside these leathers, so we're trying to look like big, hard men, but it's not working.
It's time to get tough, though. And talking of which, the toughest man of all on the front row is with Claire Smith.
It does look fairly tough. Look at that face. You look, oh, he's giving us a smile now. That's better. Now, the last race, you got a good start, but then what happened to you? You fell back quite a bit.
I just had no grip for the word go. Really frustrating, because it's one of my better starts of the season. That's been my downfall. So I'm fingers crossed, try and get another good start like that. And we've changed the rear tyre, different compound, slightly harder, so hopefully it'll hang in this time.
I would have thought this would be your kind of circuit, Hizzy.
It is, the bike's been working really good, but it's so frustrating again that just the rubber's let us down,
Well, frustrating, good luck. Frustrating is a word we've heard Hizzy use quite a lot. Of course, this guy's going to want revenge, isn't he? Chris Walker. Look at that face. He's ready to go. He'll want his championship points building up. He's not going to get Hodgson get away this time. You can just tell. Let's go, Keith.
Thanks, Claire. Well, I'll tell you what, he didn't look like I wouldn't talk to him either in those circumstances, because Chris Walker's looking pretty mean at the moment. So the Union Jacks are riding high here, and look at the crowd we have here at Silverstone. This is a massive place, an ex-airfield, obviously. It's a huge, huge site. So when it looks like there's a lot of people in here, believe me, there are a lot of people in here. And they're here to see the British Superbikes race 2. We don't often visit Silverstone. It's a car track, basically, but this is a bike weekend, and they're out in force to come and see how the Brits are going to do. Now then, we're all on World Championship type pace here. Neil Hodgson has won a World Superbike round this year, and Troy Bayliss, the reigning British champion, formerly of Neil Hodgson's team, the GSE INS team, he's here too, spectating, probably taking a bit of a look at who's going to do the business for him at Brands Hatch a little bit later on in the year. Reynolds then is the series leader by 1 point after Hodgson's race 1 ride today. Chris Walker is in 3rd place, 8 points in front of James Hayden. Steve Hislop really could do with the points. He's only on 125. Can he convert that front row qualifying finish? Mackenzie is there in 6th place. Steve Plater on the Kawasaki in 7th. And John Crawford, nursing a broken big toe, is there in 8th place. Let's take a look then at how they line up on the grid. It's the same as they went out for race 1, of course. After qualifying, Neil Hodgson Well, not a massive lead in qualifying, but big enough indeed to stamp some authority over John Reynolds in second place. Steve Hislop, a fine third from qualifying. Must have been a good qualifying tyre there, Steve. And Chris Walker in fourth place. That's row one as they'll start in a few minutes. Row two, Neil Mackenzie, James Hayden, Steve Plater and John Crawford. So good quality second row as well. The Works boys out in force here at Silverstone. Row three, James Tozen on the Honda. Marty Craggill having his, fourth ride on the Kawasaki. He's been drafted in. And as Peter Goddard, of course, has gone on World Superbike duties. Michael Rutter and Paul Young for Race Stringers Level 3 team are 11th and 12th. 20,000 people, we're told, are at trackside at the moment. 20,000 paying guests at Silverstone that have come to watch round 6 of the British Superbikes. This is race 2, round 6. They're about to go off on their warm-up lap. That is Neil Hodgson. He is in pole position. He is just 1 point away from leading the British Superbike Championship for the first time this year. They roar away then from the start line, and I tell you, I can't wait to join Julian Ryder, and I'm not likely to say that too often.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said about me, and I agree, Keith. I can't wait for this. It's been great to be back live with some Superbikes here on Sky. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and what we're going to see now is not the last race of the day, because the fans here, I think, still have a 1-2-5 race to enjoy. You get your money's worth when you come bike racing, not just the Superbike, the Supersport, the Superstock, the 250s and 125s as well. I can recommend it for a Sunday out. Can't you, Keith?
I didn't hear what you said, Jules, but never mind, you don't need to repeat it. I've only just put my headphones on. Give me a chance. So there we are then. My erstwhile good friend Julian Ryder. I mean, some people ask me, Julian, whether we're mates. You got an answer. Stitch that. Oh, hang on a minute.
No, it's one of those things that went on for years, isn't it, Keith? It was a wonderful relationship.
What do you mean was? Why are you using past tense? Excuse me. Just because I asked you to pay for the drink.
Well, you know.
Chris Walker then, out on track now. Chris Walker's got some work to do, as has Stevie Hislop, of course. Stevie Hislop and Chris Walker, can they catch Neil Hodgson? I tell you, Hodgson at the moment, well, the only time he broke out in the sweat was when he spoke to Claire.
Yes, and who can blame him? And confidence is a wonderful thing. You can't beat it. A great team manager once said to me that compared to tuning a rider's head, tuning the bike comes second. So I'm going for Hodgson for the double. I think Hizzy will get third, but Walker will be second.
I've got to say that Neil Hodgson, you'd be an absolute prat to not bet with him on this particular occasion, because he really is right on it. So I'll bet against him. No, I won't. Neil Hodgson on bike number 4. I can't see anybody beating him today. I mean, he really is. Unless he has a mechanical failure, but again, the INS Ducati team, they've done so well with that motorcycle this year. And they're on the very latest tack, of course. The Red Bull boys are on last year's motorcycles. They may be a tiny fraction of a degree, not quite the same motorcycles, but INS Ducati really this year are just looking, just that fraction better. I mean, it's hard to say that John Reynolds is being overshadowed. He's not.
He's leading the championship still.
But he is still.
I know exactly what you mean.
Neil Hodgson's frame of mind is very, very good. John's just looks a little more fragile at the moment.
And we did see from the interview after race 1 that John is not a well bunny this weekend.
But he wasn't. He was okay at Snetterton, but of course he was unhappy after race 1 at Snetterton. Right, the red flag is up. The big one for me is Steve Hislop. I would like to see Steve Hislop finish on the podium this year. His frame of mind is pretty good. He seems relaxed. Can he make that Virgin Mobile Yamaha a winner? We are under him. Right, we are about to blast off. Red light goes to green. Hodgson and Mackenzie are away there.
Hizzy
on the second row of the grid, but it's Hizzy that gets that Virgin Mobile Yamaha out front. No, he doesn't, because through came Walker, and likewise Hodgson has moved through as well. But it's great to see Hizzy get a good start.
He always was the whole shot man before Walker, wasn't he? Is he?
So Chris Walker gets that start that he always gets. Something special about Chris Walker's starts, and it doesn't matter what motorcycle he's on either. Rep Beckett's for the first time on lap 1 off 20. Walker, Hodgson, then it's number 8, the Virgin Mobile Yamaha of Steve Hislop, being chased by John Reynolds, the series leader. He's going to lose that lead if he don't get his proverbial out.
And then it's Mackenzie tracking Reynolds. So all the usual men at the front, Hayden next along, then Plater.
Yeah, I can see Plater sneaking up the inside there as well, but it's Chris Walker
back it in there.
Leads. I mean, he is just back it in. He backs it in everywhere. I think Chris Walker, if he was riding a paddock bike, he'd be turning it sideways to park.
And he's off and running.
Yeah, he's not off and running. Off completely is James Tozen. So the young 20-year-old, and that's Crawford he got tangled up with. So John Crawford, steady on James. You get a bit of a rooster tail there. It'll spit you off. Read my lips.
Yeah, exactly. Not difficult.
Oh, dear me, lit the back end of that bike up
James.
again. I think there's something wrong with that bike, actually. That looked like it locked rather than actually spin the rear end, mind you. No, it would have probably been spinning because